Good afternoon, folks. This is Blavik Shade Floral 226 coming at you with a new vlog today. Um, so it is 11/20/2022. It's 1:32 in the afternoon. And so I wanted to discuss with you just my real seriously forthcoming thoughts about my alienation of the internet and my situation with YouTube. Just basically how I ended up becoming a vlogger and accumulating um, content to my channel, including my content with video vlogs. So here I am. Let me get started. For a majority of their life years, Black people will struggle with the exception of self-acceptance. Anti-Blackness is what I've personally brushed with, especially in my life and these days on social media. Interracial relationships is something I haven't understood enough as yet, and as well something I have hoped to experience. When I've spent time thinking about it, I think about Black women. When I've thought about it, the issue that I think they need to learn is how to overcome the self-hate and hatred. Something that I'll call ethnic hatred and race hatred, which is something I've just learned and I'm coming to understand. Anti-Blackness is defined as actions or behaviors that minimize, devalue the full participation of Black people in life. So it minimizes and or devalues the full participation of Black people in life. The bias can be unconscious or motivated by prejudice. As I learned that some biracial peoples have voice in the grander span of opinions, that Black is beautiful more or less explains the Black Negro love aspect more than the biracial mixed love aspect. So I will share that people who are biracial have tried and minimized themselves away from the Negro love aspect of relationship and identified more to their mixed white aspects of self-being. But I believe that the Negroic aspect of their parents coming together is what helped form their self-being when their Negro aspect becomes embraced with their mixed white racial aspect. The Negroic aspect was what my parents began with. But I learned that they were more capably determined and became like that once they had separated. A backlash to adulthood that most parents in standing marriage relationships face, which is why they then separate. It's the unexplained factor of their love as to what solidifies or keeps them absolute in spite of their marriage and eventual separation. In spite or despite underlying factors to their separating. I admit compassionately that Negroic marriage is a moralistic journey and what makes successful Black parents the renowned eminent persons they are. They are and will be predominantly essential forces that explain their children's essential being, as well as the sources of the Negroic family's well-being. So I will share that people who have familial as well as Societal oppressions to overcome. I believe that the way for Negroidic Black families to overcome the hatred of anti Blackness is for them to turn and look to their children and ascend themselves into their ages in order to figure their purposes. And I think that they will find their purposes when they work as emphatic persons and try with effort to understand the manifolded ages of their many children. I just wanted to emphasize that, as well as share that other adults of the family, besides the parents, could do the very same even. For me, in my case, and age discrimination has moved on to the internet since the age of the internet to social anti Blackness in the age of groups and online networks. I had to display some light on the quiet issue and share this up and coming new debate and pressing debacle. As from my observation that vlogs from Black persons of the color age are not as frequently viewed by white viewers as much as vlogs from much fairer skinned vloggers are readily watched. Vloggers of the colored internet space are usually flocked and participated by the peer viewers of the same race and color. But this young struggle is quiet and not very talked about, since it can only really be handled as a debatable interest and what's deemed watchable rather than explored or even questioned as whether this is biased and or prejudiced. This is taking place all within the age of color and expressionist impressionism. As young as I was, I recall that time being called the 90s or the age of being. So now that we at present live in the age of group nets and friending networks and the social corresponding internet, we now live in a time where encountering other sorts of people and individuals can happen at the tips of one's fingers. A click of the button, or tapping keys, or even more socially cool school for the being, the social age of @#. The debate I've brought up is an ongoing one and has had relatively very little discussion. There's not much news I've found about it, but there is an article I've read, as well as a few other sources. My heart burgeons with love for it, and I am apprehensively unsure of its fancy inkling. But I still want to continue following through with the debate. I have discussed how popular vlog hosting has taken over YouTube and has sort of evicted the common men and commonplace average vloggers of everyday usual persons, unlike the web hosts of popular culture who ousted and put out the people of social ambiguity and somewhat retardedly misfitting and underdeveloped vlog culture. I really miss that phase of YouTube's portal, but I will admit the savage folk who would habitually detain the site participated anti-Blackness and sort of advanced their way ahead of those who were not as articulate, and alienated and excluded the internet's likable vloggers and common folk with active evasions. And they are people who have now been outbeating the despotism and absolute tyranny of the more racial anti-Black popularly sourced network of identified web hosters who would plug out the user viewers and commenters of the impoverished, substandard, socially low averaged eccentrics, and lovable oddballs of the common internet, who were not all vloggers per se, but viewers and commenters who had channels inexplicably removed without notice of explanation, with ongoing changes affected, I being one of them. Presently, I have rejoined YouTube and been vlogging as part of my time these days. But I would like so much for the users, viewers, and channel holders of YT and the source internet to come to a truce and work through the ethnic hatred that may still lurk, but of which we are still unsure about because of the standing majority's internal stance about race and the ongoing exclusion and intentional disregard of Black vlogging and its content. So I've shared my hidden upset of the debated situation. I await to see what will develop now that I've shared it. I will let it there and come back at it in the event of any development. Like, comment, share, and please subscribe. And till we meet again, adieu.